Welcome to the Monza walkthrough. So we'll do like I did before. We'll do a lap from the inside, a full lap, and then we'll go for same lap on the outside, so you could have a better view of the line that we'll do for this track. And then after that, we'll do turn by turn. So I'll go back in the same lap. We'll stop at every turn. I'll explain where I'm braking, why I'm doing this line, and I'll try to give you every tip that I could to help you improve your time in the future for your race this week. So let's start with the lap from the onboard. All right, that's from the inside. It was on the. I show with the helmet cam because I want to see steering, and if I go to the other cam, right, the steering is not there because I'm not using it. Maybe if I go and I enable it back, it will be there, but I want you to see, yeah, the input. But we'll try to go from the outside this time. So now we'll take a look at the line that I will be using for this lap. All right, this is your The lap for Monza. I did this lap. It's not on the house of practice. It was done on hot lap mode. It was like 18 degrees when I did it, so it will be a little bit faster than what you'll see on the house of practice. And the time was this lap was a 46.4. So now we'll go back and go corner by corner. And if you have any question during um, when I go in the corner, please ask it when I'm there, and then you don't have to wait until the end to have your question. So let's start it. So coming to turn one. So Monza is really easy layout to learn. So you have straight to a chicane, straight a chicane, and then you have two corner, let's move one and two, and then another chicane, the scurry, and then last corner. It's pretty easy to learn, but it's really an art track to master because you do one tiny mistake in the first chicane, you're gonna lose time until you get to the second one. It's just a long straight, so you'll need to focus on your exit to make sure you'll not losing time. So let's go back from the inside. It'll be this one that we will not see the steering input here, but you could always see it with the little widget under the speed on the right. How much I'm turning it back. I could also change it back to the helmet cam. I just don't like the movement of the head too much. So coming up to turn one, what I'm using here for the reference will be the 150-meter board. So coming, when I get to the top of my windshield here, see, I'm starting to be on the brake. So it's easy here, straight, brake in a straight line, you maximize your brake, and you'll need to adjust. So all the reference that I'm gonna say for the lab is a reference for my particularly for this car and how I drive my field of view. So if you're driving another cam, you're driving hood cam or your chase cam, or any one of them, those point will change for you. So it's just a reference for you to have an idea of way to try it, and then but you'll need to figure the exact one for your car just by doing it. So for me, this will be my reference for the 150-meter board when you get to the top of my view. So if we go slowly, you'll see I'm gonna brake hard, keeping the car all the way to the white line without touching the grass. And then you get here at the end, you're just gonna start release. Get as close as you could at the orange sausage curve. And again, as close as you could for the second one, and then you're back full throttle. So since those two corners are really close together, so when you get to the turn one, you're gonna try to exit like middle of the track. See, and try to keep it really tight here. If you exit too much on the left, then you're just gonna compromise your exit for turn two and losing a bunch of time on the straight until you get to the second chicane. So
Michael, I got a question.
yeah, go ahead.
Sure. So for this turn, how quickly do you have to turn the wheel to adjust for the next turn? Is it like really slow? Is it really fast? What would the appropriate input be for that? Um, the reason I ask is because when I'm doing this turn, it seems like I'm waiting forever to kind of have the turn completed and to be on throttle. Otherwise, I always end up like overshooting it into the sand pit.
Okay. Yeah, you need to go pretty quickly to turn back. But if you go in a sand pit, I'll have to see a replay. But maybe you on throttle a tiny bit earlier, too early, so it pushed you to the pit towards the
Okay.
sandpit. That might be the issue. So I'll go back full speed from the helmet cam, so you'll see the steering. So this is normal speed. Take a
Okay.
look at the steering. So it's gonna turn pretty quick. It's second one.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah. So go as close as you could. Like take every inch of the track that you could take on the left here. Gotta go. So this one. So see, I'm right on the end. I'm gonna get even closer. Go. Continue to go. There, when you get towards turn one, see, I'm continuing to go. There's this little green, so you want to be as close as possible. You could even go on the green to brake. It's fine. If the track is not wet because we have changing condition for the next race. As you can see, I'm using every inch of the track that I could. You don't want to brake on the grass or gravel that's there. But once you get there, you could continue to let the car go left. I went a little bit over, not much, but you don't have to. And then you need to just be at the curve on the entry of the orange. Same thing for the second one. Just right on the edge. I touch it a little bit there, but that's not too bad. But more than that, you could bump the car and just
Hey,
not.
Michael,
Yep,
would you like to back it up and show them where the apex is on that exit? I think
yep,
that would give you more of an instinct of like park your car, stop the car on the no on the exit coming out.
yep,
Coming in is good. Late apex in a sense, right?
yep.
Kinda.
So if you look at the input here, just before I get to the apex, like Brian asked, you can see I will touch a little bit of throttle, but if you just let the car go between those two, it's always you will be fine. You're not gonna lose like half a second because of that, but just to
Hmm.
maximize every tenth of a second there, and as you can see, I'm gonna be back throttle a bit and just release it. Then here, just a bit. Yeah, I'm starting to be back on full throttle here.
Okay.
If we go back on the inside, where
Yeah,
would
and where the
be?
car is apexing, and that's the important part because if the car hasn't rotated or isn't facing the right way, and you're back on throttle, you're just going to drive out into the sand, like you were
Okay.
saying. Yeah,
So
because if
when
you're on throttle too early, then you're just driving straight off. You have to kind of wait till you get that exact spot, so and that's important to know that apex.
so around here, if we look from the inside,
Yeah,
outside,
that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah,
be like
Mm.
somewhere here.
Okay.
yeah,
Then if we go back from the inside with the steering here, see, I'm gonna check the input, so check the throttle. I'm gonna start getting back on throttle and unwind the wheel. So the car will just glide to the edge of the curb, the exit curb. I'm gonna straighten the wheel. So I'm back full throttle. The wheel was like a quarter turn, like 25 cents, and then just straight.
yeah. Don't over rotate yourself.
Got it.
Quick question, guys.
Yeah.
Hmm.
When it's wet, how safe is it to go over those curbs?
This
Do
one,
we
the
avoid do we avoid them in the wet?
depend on which curb. From the exit,
Let's say
even
the
if
exit. Let's say the exit one.
like even on the dry, I'm not even going on it because this one for me feels like just taking out speed out of me because I'm saying like, see, I'm not even on, just a tiny bit here, a little bit, but in the wet, it will depend how wet it is. If it's just like light rain, that should be good. If it's like medium rain, I'll probably avoid it. It's probably gonna trigger a bunch of TC and just losing speed.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing too is to remember too, guys, is Michael's coming around this corner. His car is straightened out at this point. Even if he drives up on the curb, the car is still going to be under control. But then, like Mike says, the TC will kick in, and then that'll slow you down. Like you're not on full throttle anymore. The electronics is going. Nah, I'm slowing you down.
Yeah, yeah. If the steering is straight, like Brian said, it's fine to use it. You're not gonna lose control. I did it yesterday on House of Practice was wet, and I went on a curb. as long as your steering is straight, you're not gonna lose control of the car. But it was just sucking out the speed out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just losing time. So it could be safe, but it might be slower.
Thank you.
Before we're going to the next chicane, do you have any other question for turn 1 and 2? And it's a
That's
chicane
it.
here, so not much. It's not like turn 1 Nürburgring. It's you don't really need to trail brake. Um, it's just like on and off for the brake. I didn't do much trail braking there. Just
It's a pretty
did a little
sharp
bit.
corner.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then we'll go to the next chicane. So very similar to this one. So coming on to the second chicane. So same idea. You're gonna enter, keep it tight for after you turn to the left, you keep it tight, and then focus on the exit to prepare for the next corner. After that, that will be less mode 1. So first thing to for the braking, what I'm using here, you have two things. You have the 150-meter board here again. So this is just to remind you to brake. So I'm braking a little bit after that. Passing, then you have the orange, that's air. So that's what I'm using for my braking. See, just a little bit too far, but I'm starting to brake. One is in front of me. So you have the 150 meter to remind you, and then you have a orange on the fence. And if you're battling another car, the orange is also on the other side. It's a little bit, I think it's a little not perfectly aligned, but you need to remember still have the orange. You have something else if you're battling a car here to remember you need to brake before it.
Still a good reference.
Again, keep it tight to the track, go right to the white line. Don't go over it too much because that right after that is the grass and gravel, and then if you touch it, you're just gonna overshoot the corner. So let's go slowly. Again, slowly braking on the straight line. Keep it straight. Same idea. The turn 1, we're coming really fast, so just keep the steering straight, straight, straight. And you get to the curve on the right, and then I'm gonna start turning here. Oh, oh,
5 seconds back. Oh,
and
do you hate it when that happens?
just gonna let's go put the steering wheel so you could see it. So yeah, we can see it. Braking on a straight line, and then you lose enough speed, you start turning, so release the brake, get close to the orange, don't hit it, keep it tight, lift throttle, little lift, again the air back full throttle when you pass the orange curve, and here you go on the curve for the exit for this one. Uh, for the wet, if it's wet, we'll have to see. Racing in the wet is you need to adapt your driving on every lap. So when you're gonna start the race, the track will be really wet. But after a couple laps, the track will just improve because we're racing maybe I don't know 20, 30 car on the track. So the track condition will just change on lap to lap. So you just need to adapt. Sometimes you'll be able to use it, sometimes not. But use right here. I'm right on the edge before touching. I cannot use any more track here. That's what you want to do. And but maybe in the race, I will probably not do that in the race. I'm not gonna use push as much. This is for just showing the best lap that I could do for the recording. So in the race, I will bring everything down like I don't know 5-10%. So maybe I'll be instead of being on the edge here, I'll be like middle, like somewhere in the middle of the car right now, but like aligned with the zero, something like that, just to keep it safe because you don't want to touch the gravel here because you're gonna lose a ton of speed. And if there's someone right behind you, you will have time to pass before getting to Lesmo. So let's go back and then we'll check from the outside, just like this. So you can see, yeah, you aim for the orange, you don't hit it, keep it tight. Then again, aim for the orange. So when you get like here, let's go top view. Here you're gonna start to be full throttle, apply the throttle back. So if I go continue here, see I'm already on throttle like almost 3/4. Then I'm just gonna keep going. All right. Any question for the second chicane? It's pretty similar to the first one, just instead of being right left is left right. Same idea.
And it's the same as the steering input. It has to be really quick and swift to an extent, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go good with the steering and we could watch it one more time on normal speed.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Now we are at the first last mode. First last mode doesn't have a really good braking reference like turn 1 and turn 3. So I'm doing it more like feel. Like I don't have it. I'm not looking at anything when I drive in here for the braking. I'm just used to it. I drive this car enough time on this track that I know like where I should be in RPM, what I hear, what I see. It's just doing it by feel for now. But we're still going to check if we could see something. So where? Because the marker is way too before.
Right there, on the right side, Mike.
There's the
Yeah.
orange. It's a little bit far for me. I prefer when stuff is closer to me, but it's something that you could use for sure. For me, I'm just like to do it by feel by now because I'm driving so much. But yes, the orange fence is usable. It's a little bit far from the inside. You could see it's, I don't know, it feels like a couple car. If you go from the outside, we're still pretty far from it. See, but that's the only thing we have for this corner. I could, yeah, because if you look around, you only need the fence and there's no more color. There's the little stand there, but you don't see it from the inside, and there's not much on the right, left side either. So use that to start, and after a while, you'll get used to it, and you'll be able to just do it by feel too. So braking there is not. You can still carry a lot of speed to this corner. It's not a chicane, so a moderate like right turn. So let's go just slowly. I will change cam so that you can see the steering. Just go slowly. Yeah, go full brake, down one gear, and then I'm just gonna coast to it. Keep it close to the edge, and then on the exit, you when it's dry, you use everything here. Like I say, everything. This is not a shortcut. So if you look from the outside, you go look and past the white line, but this is not a shortcut. You could use all the way to the end and touch. If you touch the grass, you're gonna slow down. I'm not even sure if it will invalid your lap, but you're just gonna lose speed anyway. But you could go full car on the like after curve, the green stuff that I'm on the dry is trying to use, and I will use it. We'll keep this cam like until the end. I will only come back on the track on like this part here. that's when I'm gonna get back to the car, the track. I have no rush to come back to the track. I have plenty of time, so if we slowly, I'm turning like slowly just because the way it's done here is like an angle, so you don't want to turn the steering wheel right at the end to the right and just do it gradually, and then you could just exit here. Then you'll be out to Lesmo too. But we'll go back. So one good thing when to get to Lesmo one thing that could help you to get back on throttle, you'll see the orange coming to the fence here. So you can see I'm already a little bit on throttle, but I'll be more when I get there. Then I want to get back full throttle. So that's
Yeah, on the wet, be very careful on that one with it when it's wet.
Yeah, be careful
On
everywhere
that,
when it's wet. But
yeah, on
should be
that exit curve.
Oh yeah, now on the exit, yes. And one more thing for Lesmo one. So be careful to not put your right wheels uh, on the curb. Just gonna go show you because those curb on the start you could see they dip down and then they go back like for the drainage. So it go down like really sharp. But if you caught your while turning here, if your front wheel goes over it and then it will just pull your car and could make the back of the car swing and make you lose control easily. So go close to the white line, but don't go on the curve here. It's not one that you want to attack it just because the way it's made. It will be the same thing for later in Ascari. I'll explain it when we get there, but yeah, don't this one avoid it. Back from the inside, we'll get full speed. Just go back. All right. Any question for Lesmo one?
All good, Mike.
Okay. Lesmo two. So for this one, we have way better marker than Lesmo one. So we have the 50 meter board there, but this is destructible, so you should not use it. But if you look on the right side, we have a white paint on the fence on the right, and it's aligned with the 50-meter board. So that's what I'm using. So if we go just a little bit, arrow, I'm starting to break almost at it 50-meter when viewing from the inside car. So I'm just past like my main monitor is starting to appear on the right monitor for the white on the fence. So that's my one, and that's my door really similar corner here. Again, gonna break art, go slowly, break art, don't shift a gear again. Then this one you could attack it a little bit. Again, full throttle and use every track. Green stuff after it on the exit. This is perfectly fine if you pass a white line. It's not a track cut in here, same thing. So the reason for this corner why I could attack the curve a bit. The turn is it's not turning as long as Lesmo one's like a sharper turn. So you're not gonna be a long ride ender. So if you go on it, if I go I'll go from this side. I don't think well I'll be close to the green, but I'm not sure if I touch it.
Just kiss it. There
Yeah.
you go.
There's some lag that I went over it. I went on to the on the green and it's fine. It's not should bumps your car too much. You could attack it like there here and it'll be fine. And then you get like I said, you want to use every inches of the car, the track. And we're just gonna back it up just a little bit, show you like here. This will be like apex. As you can see here, I'm starting to be back on throttle. If I go just a little bit further, see, throttle is already going up, back up. So it's pretty much like middle of the corner between the green after curve, middle of it is your apex where you should be. When you're looking back at your replay, you check if you're getting back on throttle at that time. Okay, I'm just going back full throttle. This has Moto. Let's watch one more time from the outside. It's almost like a tap of the brake, just a little bit longer than the tap, but it's not a big uh, braking zone like we have for first two chicane. Now we have kind of a straight, we still full throttle here, and we'll get to Ascari. So let's go from the inside. We have another grid marker here for Ascari. So you have the, it's not a bridge, but you have the like overpass. And you have the Marshall, you have the 100 meter that reminds you, you have the orange, and you have the access road that's just there. So I'm using here. You have the orange fence, the Marshall that's right there. So that's why I'm braking for Ascari just a little bit after the little bridge or the sign that just over the track. Again, it's kind of a chicane, but it's faster than first and second chicane. So we doing the same idea. So I'm gonna brake again, straight line, as close as the white line that I'm comfortable with. Just braking, then I'm starting to turn because this corner you want to attack, like for a quality lap, you want to attack those black and yellow curves that are right in front of me. As you can see, I'm gonna cut like middle of it. I'm gonna cut a lot. So if you go top view from here, see I'm like using like almost the second one, pretty much middle of it. And then the second one, the last one, I'll just finish it. And just gonna continue since we're here. I'm gonna try to not go too wide on the exit here because I want to prepare for the next one. So I'm trying to keep the car here because I want here and back on throttle. So it's possible from here to keep it flat. I did the lift here to be safe, but it is possible depending on setup and condition to keep it flat until you get to Parabolica. As you can see, I'll continue here. I'm gonna get on the curb. I did a little lift there, it's already done. I'm gonna be back full throttle. And then I'm gonna cut. The next one, I'm gonna go over like middle of the black curve there.
Hmm.
A little bit in the middle. Just have the car as straight as possible to pass on it. So let's go back. We'll go slow. So cut this one. Well, this one is easy to cut. Every car should be able to do it without bouncing too much. As you can see here, I did a little lift around here just to get a bit more grit on the lift. And the reason, see here, so we have the curve right in front of me. Let's just go reverse a little bit. So we have a flat curve, and then it changed to the curve for the drainage. So it dips down, then going back up to the green. But my right wheels are already on the curve here. So I'm gonna avoid a little dip that could spin my car or unbalance because it just catch the front wheel and give a little bit too much grip on it. So I'm already past it. So if going forward, you see, I'm already past the front wheel are like almost green stuff, probably. Yeah, they are clean, and those small smaller one here, I'm just touching like the inside, like before the middle. Same thing. I'm gonna keep the car here, and I'm starting here, straightening it, getting straight, and cutting this one a lot. This one is the hard one to cut. Cutting this much in some car could be hard. It could be really set up dependent how much you could cut on this one.
If
We'll go
I
from the side in the side after.
if I cut like that in the Ferrari 488 and the 296, I go airborne. I can only put one tire over it
Yeah.
on the second one.
So
I'll test it and see what happens.
yeah, test it in house for practice, not in a race. Then if you get, if for you it's impossible to do it this way, like for quality, I'm gonna send it this way. I'm gonna do a banker lap, and then when I'm happy with my banker, I'm gonna send it full senator to try it to get just more time. But in race, if you're not comfortable to hit it 100% every time and not spin the car because it could easily get airborne air and you'll get in the sand and on the wall on the other side. I did it many times. So see these. So if you cannot do it, put your left tire like right before the yellow and black curved on the top of it. And this should be fine if you're right there. Because right now with my setup in the McLaren, I feel really comfortable to attack that curve. So I'm gonna play it full speed from the inside, and you'll see if you hit it right, it should be pretty stable. But there's not a lot of margin to hit it the last curve right. You need to have your left tire like almost past the yellow and black curve on the top. Because see, because I was like almost past it, so the black and yellow curve was almost underneath. It's not eating. Nah. See, I hit it. Go just a little bit. So front tire is like past the middle of it because those curve like they're going up until there, but my tire was like almost here. The front, you still hit it. For some reason, you didn't feel it. Let me try run for this passage, but sometimes like doing like this will be like a lottery here. Sometimes will not bumps you, sometimes will bumps you. So you need to try it. Use it in quali, but in race, keep it safe and keep the car like where my right wheels are. You should maybe have in the race your left wheel here. This
Oh,
cutting.
so test it basically. Left side, full send if it's possible. If that doesn't work, then keep it on the track
Yeah,
or as close
like
as
right
that.
on the first part of the curve, the where you change red, white, and green, not just the
Okay.
solid green. Yeah, so just avoid the sausage top curve there, the black and yellow. You could
Can you
just
back it up, Mike, to the top of the? Just back it up some more. I'll tell you where to stop. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, good. Stop. Can you show us your input, like the tire, your steering?
sure.
Because I think it's important that everyone sees that. I think you're straight lining that as much as possible. I mean, there's a little bit of move tire.
Yeah, so I'm still turning, but then I'm gonna change it to the left.
Then
So
very subtle.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that subtle change still count. Like right here, I have like, I don't know, like for, I don't know how much steering, but
Yeah, no, we can still
couple,
say that's
and
yeah.
then I straighten out a bit here, just to hit the curb right,
And keep it going.
and then
Yeah, and then just keep it there. Yeah, I see. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to have too much steering input when you're going over that curve because it could it could just unsettle the car because you're turning into it rather than going over it more or less almost straight.
yeah,
I guess is what you're trying to do there. Yeah.
some car could do it easier than other here. Setup could made a difference, but I will not focus only on that corner for the setup because you could still do it a really good lap without going over that curve.
Mm.
And again, exit is still used every track. I think if you go a little bit more here, you could add an invalid lap if you cross the after green stuff here. So if you go on the track, here you need to get back on the track pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty close. Pretty close.
Okay.
I think it was pretty close to be invalid like this one.
I always think of it. I mean, either way, the end of the green paint or the red and white curbing. If you're
But
on the other side of that red and white curbing, that's it. You've invalidated.
so maybe at the I'm not sure where it is, but it could be by the end of the green you need to be back on the white line, which I was like
Mm.
just on it. The front tire
Yeah.
just
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
so
Don't hang out there too long. In other words.
yeah, get back on the track. So any other question or would like to see something back on Ascari?
I guess that's a no.
Okay, well, then we'll continue to the last corner, and important corner because if you messed up, if you have a car behind, it'll pass you before the turn one. So we're gonna get to the parabolica, which is not a symmetrical corner. Could be tricky to do. Could be really loose on the rear sometime, but you need to focus on your exit for this corner because you have a long straight, a long front straight, and where it's a good place too. If you get it better than your opponent, you'll get a good chance to pass it on the straight because you draft or even attempt on the turn one. Good. There's a couple of plays that you could pass on this track, and turn one is a good one to use because we have the straight and you just get more top speed because of the draft. So for my reference, I'm using the 100 meter. When I get to it, I just pass it. I just don't see it anymore, but it is right beside my car. If we go from the outside, I'm starting to be on the brake. So I get brake on the straight line here. And then you just not much sure braking that goes there. You just prepare for the corner. So make sure you slow down enough. Just so you have again you have those two board just before the 100 meter, which are I think it's probably just like sponsor. And you pass it, get to the 100 meter board, get on the brake, keep it straight, keep it close to the white line. And then when I release it, get the grip back on the front wheels. And this guy here. When to get to this point, you should be back full throttle by this point. And you will keep it full throttle until turn one. So right now I'm hugging to the right and I'm gonna be full throttle, let the car go. Just change the camera. So, okay, let's go back. And you can see the input. Releasing the brake, get the grip back on the front. Just trying to keep it tight to the curb. Here you see I'm like 80%, keep it there a little bit, and then like full throttle. That just my driving
Unwind
style. You don't, and then you just I keep the same steering input, and the car will just naturally drift to the outside, close to the carrier. And at this point, you just back on the main straight. So a lot of time when you look at my replay, this is something that I do. I just do it without thinking. I'll go to like 80% throttle, like you see here, stop, and then I back full throttle. It just settle the car, but you don't have to do that. You could just do the like progressive applying the throttle. We'll do it full speed, and you will see it's not. I'm not doing it like for a long time. So the watch back from the outside. Take a look at the line. So slower. I'm braking on the 100-meter straight line. Use all the track beyond the white line. Good. Then release your brake. So front is gripping more now. And you seeing back this guy from the inside, you should be back on throttle. Like, damn. Just gonna finish from the outside. Back full throttle. And you have plenty of track to use it.
Let it drift wide. There's lots of room.
And could go. So one thing, if you miss this corner and you're going wide and you're about to hit that sausage here, this one, this little guy here, don't hit it. If you cannot turn right anymore, if you are about to hit it, you're already off track. You probably already have a track cut or a warning on anything. So pass on this side, pass on the left. It'll be way more safer than for you than or hit this curb here. You could just bump your car in a weird way. So be here or be here.
Yep.
Don't be here.
Actually, if you ever go wide, try it. See what happens.
Yeah.
Really unsettles the car, that's for sure. Tell us about the curb too, Mike, coming into the corner on the right side.
Oh yeah. Same thing as Lesmo 1. Go close to the white line, but don't cross it to get your tire into the curb. It's because same thing as Lesmo and what we saw in Ascari. But this one is a long right sweeping, and it could dip your tire into a ear, and it could just spin you around. You could just unsettle the car and lose the traction of the rear because you're just gonna get a bunch of grip in the front, just gonna spin the car.
Exactly. Yeah.
One more thing, pit entry. Let's go to the pit entry. So you want to practice your pit entry because you're not gonna win the race on T1, but you could win a race with pit entry, or you could lose a race. If you do it wrong, you'll get a drive through. If you do it really slowly, you could lose a bunch of time. So coming here, this orange fence is not your braking reference for your pit entry. So for all pit entry, I have a braking reference as same as all the corner where I need to brake to get slow down enough to the 50 kilometers per hour before I get to this line here. This we don't know if we'll still be there when you're gonna pit. Someone could take it out. So remember where the line. So you have the tire, then you have the line. It's really important to know it. Don't think this will stay there for those are still destructible. So what I'm using, so when I'm inside the car, you have the dotted line here. It's will be somewhere past it, like not at the green pole because this will be too late. It will be a drive through. It's like middle somewhere should be safe to enter and still have a good pit entry here. And for the exit, again, remember where it is. Pretty straightforward at Monza. Easy. We have the line here. This could be gone, but the line is with the light that we have here, so it should be easy to see. Some other try have more than one line, but this one only have one, so it will be easy to know, even if the board will not be there. Should not be a problem. So, any other question on any part of the track or anything you would like to see back?
No, I guess not. Wow.
All right. If not, I'll let you go. Then you could go practice back. And thank you for being here.